Carl's Travel Cruise and Sightseeing channel. So hello and welcome to Carl's Travel Cruise and Sightseeing channel, and welcome to this live stream on the last day of February 2026, Saturday the 28th of February 2026, and it is 12:42 p.m. exactly. So what a year we've had so far. The last 2 months solid. January and February, practically at the end of February. We've almost completed the 2 months. We've just got to get through today, which of course will be work for me later on. And then tomorrow, of course, is March the 1st. So we'll just have a recap of what we've enjoyed on the channel over the last 8 to 9 weeks since the beginning of 2026. Well, no guesses what the weather's been like. For practically the last 2 months, all we've had is rain, wind, cold weather, maybe the odd bit of snow, maybe the odd bit of frost. But apart from that, it's not been a brilliant start to the year regarding the weather. But then what do you expect in winter? You don't expect heat unless you go abroad. Well, of course, that was what happened in January. I had my very first holiday of 2026 in the island of Tenerife. So despite the odd rain that was there when I was there, the weather was generally above 22 degrees. It even got up to 26. So that was very good. And it didn't feel like January when I was there at all. But anyway, so what to look forward to in the coming weeks. So, of course, I've had the holiday in Tenerife. I visited Peak Wildlife Park at least twice, if not 3 times, but definitely twice. Because, of course, a couple of weeks ago, I found out that they got the new capybaras up there. That's Clementine and Marmalade. So I went up there a couple of weeks ago and decided to do a series after seeing them advertised on the website that Peak Wildlife Park had got a new capybara walkthrough. So that saves me a job going to Twycross Zoo or the Who Zoo at Telford. Not that I don't like going there, but what's the point when I've got an annual pass for Peak Wildlife Park anyway, and there's free parking, and it's on the doorstep. Because with Twycross Zoo, even though you can get an annual pass, when you buy a day ticket, you've got to still pay for your parking every time you go. And you have to pre-book your visit, even though you've got an annual pass. And of course, you've got to pay £3.50 or £4 to park. So what's the point in that? When I can just pay £64.95 a year at Peak Wildlife Park and park for free all the time. And get in for 12 months free of charge. And get 10% off in the shop and 10% or 15% off in the cafe, etc. So there's no reason why not to have it. So because I make a regular trip, then it's perfectly beneficial, because it's £25.95 on the gate. It's a little bit less if you book online, but if you've got the annual pass, you are getting more for your money's worth. So you may as well invest in an annual pass, which is what I've done for the last year and a half. So I'm now in my 2nd year of having an annual pass. So when it expires in September, I will just renew it. Hello to you, Donna de Guzman, and hello, of course, Kate. So yes, hit that subscribe button at CarlSmith25. So I'm just running over the last couple of months of my channel since this year. So in the last 2 months, of course, we've had a lot of rain. It still is today, a little bit, but it might be clearing off. That's not an appropriate comment, thank you, Alfie. I will remove you. I do not want people putting things like that on my channel, thank you very much. So I've got rid of him. And that's what I'll do, okay? Because I knew what he was referring to. I don't want to be reading rude words on my channel, thank you very much. So I've got rid of him. Well, how do I know that, okay? How do I know that? So anyway, so the point is, the last 2 months, it's been not very good with the weather. But it's not stopped me going out and having adventures, in the sense of going to Dimmingsdale for a walk, and also to Peak Wildlife Park twice. And I got up close to the capybaras the other day when I went as well. I went again, because we went Dimmingsdale on Tuesday because the weather was lovely. And then I decided to nip over to Peak and have an hour or so with the capybaras, and I got to stroke the capybaras, which was lovely. So I did some videos, and they are on the channel. Yes, well, they are the world's largest rodent. So anyway, so what to look forward to in March, which of course starts tomorrow. Well, there will be another travel blog at the end of the month. So I'll be jetting off to the sun again, because this is to use my holiday up from work, which is why I went to Tenerife. So I've got about 9 days left. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll split it a little bit so it gives February for somebody else to have their holiday, to use their holiday up. So I thought, right, well, January I'll go over to Tenerife and have a holiday over there, which I enjoyed. Did the Teide by Night experience, and then I did the Loro Park Zoo, which is one of 2 in the world that's got orcas, or killer whales as they might be known. They're basically just large dolphins. So I was able to video them and live stream it as well. So they're all on the channel. It took me almost 3 weeks to offload all the videos because I've done 1,330 clips, 97 episodes and nearly 40 live streams. So it took me almost 3 weeks to do those videos and get them off. Well, the channel gained the views, of course. So in that fortnight that it took to put the videos on, the channel gained over 80,000 views. So that was very good. I have exceeded 1.2 million views. And of course, I've exceeded 1,740 odd subscribers. So I really do appreciate your support. So it's at CarlSmith25 to subscribe if you are not already subscribed. So as I say, coming up in March, first of all, this coming Wednesday, there will be a trip back up to the Churnick Valley Railway, because even though they run the trains today on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, they will be starting up on Wednesdays from this Wednesday, the 4th, right the way through till the end of September. So for 6 solid months, every Wednesday from March the 4th up till the last Wednesday of September, they'll be running the trains at the Churnick Valley Railway, and they'll also run them on other days as well, particularly bank holidays, over the Easter holiday, the spring bank holiday in May. There's 2 bank holidays in May, and then the one in August as well. And then over Christmas, from November to December, they usually have the Polar Bear Express, which of course is a Christmas themed train. So they run that as well. They do murder mystery night. They do you can have a breakfast on the train. They do wine tasting on the train. They do all sorts of different events. They've even got a Mad Hatter's Alice in Wonderland themed event coming up in April as well. Of course, for the Easter Bunny. Of course, that's why they've got that, I suppose, because it's to do with Easter. So they're going to do that as well. But generally, public train services are every Wednesday from this Wednesday, the 4th, right the way through till the end of September. And then on weekends when they're not doing events. And it's a lot better to book online, because if you pre-book online, at least you are guaranteed a ticket. Not that you can't book on the day when you get there, it's just that you may find it's going to be fully booked and then you've driven miles and then you find you're disappointed because you've got there and we've got no more spaces. So you're better to pre-book. There's plenty of parking as well. They generally get a lot of coach parties going there and school trips occasionally, but generally it's for the public. So from this Wednesday, I will be going to the Churnick Valley Railway once again. It is located off the A52 between Stoke-on-Trent and Ashbourne. So it's basically just 2 miles north of Cheadle, in between near Alton Towers, near Dimmingsdale, near Froggle Wharf, and near, of course, Peak Wildlife Park. So all those places I've just mentioned are very close to the Churnick Valley Railway, and it's a 10.5 mile train journey. It is fantastic. They recommend you start at Froggle. You can get on at Cheddleton as well. They've got a car park there, but they recommend you start at Froggle because then you get to do the full loop. So you go from Froggle to Consell, Consell to Cheddleton, Cheddleton to Leetbrook, Leetbrook to Ipson's Loop. The train switches back round, and then you come back down the line, back through those stations again, back to Froggle. And then at 1:30, if you get there at 10:30 for the 10:30 train, you can get back on the 1:30 train and go back up the line again. And you can get off at the stations on the way, such as Consell and Cheddleton. You can go and visit the pubs. You can go and have a walk, and then just get back to the station to wait for the train to come back to take you either back to Froggle or back up the line to Ipswich, whichever way you want to do it. But I will not be getting off the trains at those stations. I will start in Froggle and I will end in Froggle. So I'll just do the complete loop and do video footage going up the line and back down, as well as individual clips. I will do live streams as well, including when the train arrives through the bridge, which is usually an American locomotive. It's a fantastic engine. So I'll be videoing that as well, live streaming it and videoing. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for this coming Wednesday, the 4th of March. So I aim to leave here about 9:15 in the morning to get up to Froggle through Cheadle. So it's about half an hour or so drive, if that. It's very, very quick to get there, and it's a nice scenic journey to make. And of course, the weather should hopefully be better Wednesday as well. I have looked on BBC Weather and it is looking promising for Wednesday. So that's Wednesday's series coming up. Also on the same day or the day after, I'm going to do a video specifically for the channel because it is the anniversary of me having the channel 2 years. Basically, it's actually March the 5th, which is Thursday. but I'm going to do the video on the Wednesday. I may as well just incorporate it with the Churnick Valley. I may also nip to Frogall Wharf after I've been to the railway as well. That's where Hetty's Tea Room is. It won't be open, but I will go and have a walk around there because it's nice and it's very close to the railway, so I'll do a bit of footage there as well. And I may just do a video just specifically for the channel and mention the amount of subscribers and viewers. So, and views as well, yeah. So there's nearly 20,000 videos on the channel so far. There's a lot more to come, as I've said, with Churnick Valley coming up on Wednesday, and then I'll do the anniversary video. Looking ahead through the month of March, hopefully the weather will improve a little bit as well. I do plan a Liverpool trip, so I've got a bit of overtime to do at work in a couple of weeks, but I may use my day off and have a trip to Liverpool. Again, that depends on the weather, so I'll be booking a proper train journey for there, go to Crewe from here, and then go straight up to Liverpool Lime Street. I've never been to Liverpool since I was a child, and since I went with my grandma on a trip, so I've not been for quite a few years. But I want to go and visit Liverpool. It's a different city to go and visit, like I've done Lincoln and Chester and Shrewsbury. So I'll go and visit the largest cathedral in Britain, which of course is Liverpool Cathedral. And it's also where they had the funeral of the lovely comedian Ken Dodd, who I loved watching on TV. And I did see him live in Stoke in 2014 at his show as well. And he was still performing till after midnight at aged 84 or 86, whatever his age was then. But either way, he's been dead since 2018. So, yeah, so it was 4 years before he died. So he was 86, because he died at age 90. So he was 86. So, but I loved watching his shows on the telly. And he's, you know, you couldn't really keep up with his jokes, to be fair. And you'd always find that you'd be leaving his shows like in the morning, because he'd just go on and on and on. But his funeral was at the cathedral in Liverpool, but I just want to go and visit it anyway, because it's somewhere different to go. Plus there's a church next door that was bombed in the war, so you can go and visit that as well. Plus there's the Albert Docks, and I can get the train up to Lime Street Station from Crewe. It goes directly from London Euston to Crewe, and then it goes to Liverpool. So I'm going to try and do that, and then hopefully do some videos up there. That'll be a different series for the channel as well. So that should be coming up a couple of weeks later, after the Churnick Valley, and then of course the travel blog over to Mallorca at the back end of March. So I'll be staying at the Leonardo Hotel at East Midlands Airport, like I did when I went to Tenerife last month. So I'll be going there on the Sunday evening. The flight is the next morning on the Monday, and then I'm out in Mallorca for just over a week. So I'll be staying in Camp Picafort and then heading to Alcudia as well. I'll visit the Trotters Bar at Camp Picafort as well, and no guesses what it's based off. Yes, it's off Fools and Horses. And they've got the Reliant Robin outside, and the guy that owns it has got pictures of Del and Rodney in the bar, as well as other things to do with Only Fools and Horses. So that's at Camp Picafort. And then Alcudia, they've got the Old Town, which looks amazing, and you can do the city walls, but like with Dubrovnik, except you don't have to pay for this one. And of course they have a market there on a Tuesday and a Sunday as well. Plus you've got the modern port Alcudia as well. I may visit some caves in Mallorca, not the Drac ones, I've done that before. But there is the Hams Caves. I might look at doing a trip down there. And of course there is a zoo safari as well, which looks interesting. But again, if I can't get down there on a trip, I won't be able to do it. But I'll be spending a lot of time in the north of Mallorca, Camp Picafort and Alcudia. I may do a boat trip as well. So that'll be nice just to get some different scenery. But yes, that's coming up at the back end of March as well. And then on April the 5th, which is Easter Sunday, so we're going into April now. I won't be at work that day because it's Easter Sunday, and I did mention it to my manager yesterday and said, well, the store's not going to be open, so I'm planning to do another series that day, which will be Ecclesbourne Railway at Wirksworth. That's a similar train journey to the one at Churnick Valley, just slightly less. The Churnick Valley is 10.5 miles, this one is 9.5, but it's a very similar situation with Churnick Valley, where you buy the ticket and it's valid for all the train journeys that you want to do. So I'm going to do 2 of the train journeys on that Sunday. I think the one is 1:45, and then the next one is 3:20. So I'm going to do those 2 particularly. So I'm going to get up there on Easter Sunday. It's liable to be busy, I know, but I will try and get up there for the 1:45 train, and then do the trains at that time, and then 3:20. That'll be a brand new series for the channel as well. So there's a few series coming up for you over the next few weeks for you to look forward to. Churnick Valley, of course, coming up on Wednesday, the anniversary video, possibly Liverpool. If not, I'll do Liverpool in April, but I'll try and get it done in March if I can. Again, hopefully the weather will improve. And then, of course, the back end of March will be the holiday to Mallorca with Jet 2 from East Midlands. Of course, there's been lots of information online about the entry-exit system at airports, the EES. Just bear that in mind. If you are travelling abroad, you may get delays at your destination airport. You don't have to do anything to prepare to go. You just basically make sure you're prepared when you arrive at the airport you're going to in Spain or in Croatia or in Greece or in Italy or the Balearic or Canary Islands. Of course, I'm going to the Balearics because that's where Mallorca is. So I'm going to expect it differently in Palma Airport because it's a large airport. In Tenerife, they got the machines up and running, but they didn't take a fingerprint, which they're supposed to do on the machines. They just took a photograph of me, scanned the passport, and I still went to a border guard to have the passport stamped. They should ask questions on the machine as well, which you have to answer, and then you will still go to a guard and they will check your passport or any documents that it says that you've answered on that machine. So there's usually 4 or 5 questions that it will ask you. One, of course, is which, have you got adequate insurance for your journey? What reason have you travelled to that country? Is it for business reasons or leisure? Have you got proof of your accommodation? Have you got enough funds for your journey? And also, have you got proof of a booking of a return ticket? So they will ask you those kind of questions on the machines. So you answer them honestly. And if you need help, there's always staff members nearby that can assist. So it's at Colesmith25 to subscribe as well to those that have joined. So when I go over to Mallorca, I will do a video about the entry-exit system as well, whether it's working at the airport or not. If the machines are not working, your passport will still be stamped. But after the 10th of April, that will not happen because they want 100% rollout to every country in Europe and airport as well. And of course, if you travel on Eurostar or the Eurotunnel to go to France, you will have the entry-exit system done on the UK side of the border. So at the London Euston or wherever you're going on the Eurostar to Paris, you will have to go through the entry-exit system at the railway stations. And of course, that will happen at the Channel Tunnel as well. So you'll have to fill in the questions there. And then it will just mean you won't have to do it when you get the other side. With an airport, you have to obviously fly over to wherever you're going on your holiday with TUI or Jet2 or EasyJet or Sun Express or Ryanair, whichever airline you're going with abroad in the European Union. You will have to fill in the questions on the machines when it asks you, and make sure you put your passport on so it reads it on the photo page, and then you have to put 4 fingers like that on the pad so it scans and does your fingerprints. When you leave the country to go home, you will have a photograph done again and fingerprints, but it won't ask you the questions because you will be going home. And that's why your biometric on your passport with the e-gate, you'll still have to go through one of those as well when you've been through the machines. But any hassle that you have, you can speak to a member of staff there, or you will go to a border guard where they may ask for proof of the certificate of your insurance, your accommodation, proof that you've got a debit card with you or the money that you've taken with you, and of course show your passport as well. So any proof that you need, make sure you've got it with you either in hard copy, as in printout, or a digital copy on your phone. That is the information I'm going to give you. That's what I've heard of other YouTubers as well that have done travel videos. They've said all that information I've just said regarding the entry-exit system. Please bear that in mind for your travels, particularly over the Easter holidays, because airports are going to get very busy. They are on about possibly suspending it in some places over the summer because of how busy it gets. But again, after April the 10th, they generally won't. So you'll have to expect delays if that's the case. You'll have to make sure you speak to a member of your holiday company as well if you are delayed, but it is out of their control. So make sure if you've got a transfer that you speak to somebody off on the plane or somebody in the airport of the Jet2 or TUI staff, because you don't want to be missing your transfer. And of course, they will have to bear that in mind that there are going to be people delayed. If you've got a taxi or an Uber, it's not so bad because you can just book them as and when you need them. But if you've got a coach transfer, like with TUI or Jet2, generally the transfers will not go without you. And that's the same if you are boarding a cruise as well. So if you are going with Marella Cruises, either on the Marella Voyager, Discovery 1 and 2, Explorer 1 and 2, if you've got a transfer to the ship will not go without you. Don't worry about that. You can always speak to a member of staff in the airport if you need to get through to go to your transfer, but generally they will not go without you. The ship will definitely wait. And that's also the case if you do excursions as well. with the cruise. The ship will not go without you, but if you do a trip on your own in the port that you are at, the ship will not wait. So make sure you are back at the ship at the time that it says on your cruise news, or also on the screens as you leave the ship as well, because it will generally tell you what time passengers have to be back and also the crew. So make sure you are back on time. But if you book an excursion through the Marella Cruise Control Hub, which is always a good idea, because then at least you've got your ticket in your cabin on arrival, whether it's in paper copy, which actually they don't do anymore, it's digital. So you'll log on to the Navigate page on your phone or your tablet. It's not an app. You have to basically log on to the TUI, the Marella ship's Wi-Fi, okay? And then you go to your Google browser and you just type in Navigate, and it comes up, navigate.tui, and it comes up straight away. It will then ask you for your cabin number, and the password that it asks for is a 6-digit number on the back of your cruise card, a very small amount of numbers. You put that in, and then it's got all your information on there regarding the excursions you've pre-booked, any restaurants you've pre-booked, any spa treatments you've pre-booked. It's got all the cruise news on there. It's got all the menus from all the bars and restaurants as well, so you can screenshot them all, because I know quite a few people have put on social media, have you got a copy of the restaurant menu for this particular restaurant or bar? Well, if you go on the Navigate app, you can do it yourself by screenshotting every single menu, because it changes every day, particularly the meals, not so much the drinks, but the meals. So it's a good thing to have on your phone, and it gives all the information regarding whether you need to take your passport ashore for an excursion as well, and what time your coach is going to pick you up at the port side for your trip, or if you have to go through a cruise terminal to get to your coach. It's a very handy piece of equipment to have on your phone. When I say equipment, I mean app, but it's not really an app, it's just a page. But it's called Navigate.tui. You can only use it on the ship. You can't use it back in the UK. So to pre-book any excursions, use marellacruisecontrol.co.uk. You put your booking reference in, the name of the lead passenger, generally the surname, and then the date of your departure. And then on there, it will give you your itinerary, and then you can pre-book your trips and your restaurants as well and pay for it. And then you've got peace of mind when you board the ship that you've got all those pre-booked. If anything changes, you can go to destination services on board. If you need to change an excursion or alter it, or a restaurant booking, go to destination services or the reception on board. And you can also pre-book a bridge tour, but you have to book that on the ship. You can't book it through the app. You have to book it on the ship. So you can do a bridge tour. They generally do one a week. If you want to know when the Dress to Impress night is, which was the Captain's Gala, that is normally held on Sea Day. So if you've got more than one sea day on your cruise, it will generally be on the first sea day. But again, check your cruise news, which is usually a paper copy, but you can also access it through the Navigate page as well. I hope all of that has helped anybody that's got cruises coming up. Any travel information there regarding passports and entry-exit system, I've covered that. Make sure your passport is in date as well. A lot of countries require 3 or 6 months. Make sure that's the case, and the same for children as well. And if you do need to renew it, do it now before you go away. And I wouldn't use the post office service either. Go to Max Spielmann in your local town or city. Go in there and they will do your passport photo for you. They will go through the application as well, and you pay the fee and send it off there and then. Whereas if you go to the post office, you do the check and send, which costs money. And if it's wrong, you've got to do it all again. Whereas if you go in Max Spielmann, you can use their Apply and Go service. So if you go on their website, you can click Apply and Go, and it will tell you on there all about it. They will make sure your photograph is the one that's required by the passport office. You don't need to have a separate one that's signed by somebody that knows you. All you need to take with you is your birth certificate or your old passport, and then they will deal with it for you there and then. They are very good. My brother had his done a couple of years ago. In fact, it was last year, and it took 6 days to come through the post. And then they send your old one back in a separate package. I did mine online and did a digital photograph online, but next time mine is renewed, which will be in 2033, which is quite a few years away yet, I will use Max Spielmann. If I need to renew it before 2033, I will go and do it down Max Spielmann downtown, and they will sort my application for me just like that, okay? They are very good. I highly recommend them. So hit that subscribe button at CarlSmith25. I hope everything I've said in the last 25 minutes has been helpful, And of course, these series are coming up as well, as I've said. So we've got Peak Wildlife Park has already been done, so that series is complete. Dimmingsdale is complete as well. So the next one is the Turnip Valley Railway, hopefully Liverpool. If not, that'll be in April. And then I've got Ecclesbourne Railway on Easter Sunday. I'll be booking that when I'm paid. And of course, I can't forget the travel blog to Mallorca. So I'm looking forward to all of that. I'm sure I will get over to Dubrovnik in Croatia at some point as well, most likely in May. I may slip a Benidorm trip in as well for a few days in April or in May, because I can go during my days off, so I don't have to book holiday off for that. I can do a mini break as and when I want to do it. So I may get back over to Benidorm again and have another 3 or 4 nights. I don't mind doing it. I enjoy going. Of course, I like the series, yes. But I generally like to stay in the old town because it's quieter, or near the old town. And then I've got Tapas Alley, the balcony. Last time I went in November, I did Guadalest and the waterfalls of Algar. Fantastic trip. Highly recommend it. Book it through Roundtown Travel. That's a Benidorm website, but it's Roundtown Travel. And they generally will pick up at your hotel or nearby. In June last year when I went as well, I went to Mundamar and Terra Natura Zoos. So that was really good, and the weather was scorching because I went in June. So next time I go, I'll probably go to Altea. I've been before, but it's fantastic. You get the local bus number 10 up there, and it's about €185 each way for the bus ticket. There's also boat trips to the island, Benidorm Island, and round to Altea as well, which is nice. Not Altea, Calpe. But you can do it. You can get the boat round there and get a bus, or just walk. But generally, it's a nice trip to do. And people do ask about going down to Alicante. You can get the tram. It's at the back of Benidorm, though, quite a way out. But generally, I will do trips over to the island, or down to Altea, or to Calpe, or of course Guadalest and the waterfalls of Algar, which is a fantastic trip to do. I highly recommend doing that one. It's beautiful, lots of lovely scenery, lots of nice little shops, and of course you can go in the little castle and have a walk round there as well. It's a beautiful trip. I went in November and the weather was glorious, and I just had 3 nights in Benidorm and did that. And I went with Jet2 from East Midlands to Alicante. And again, the AA entry-exit system when I went wasn't working. That was back in November. So I just had the passport stamped. Same in Tenerife, even though the machines were. So I don't know what's going to happen with Mallorca Airport yet. I will have to wait and see. But I will definitely be doing videos leading up to me going away and when I'm away as well. So again, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this lengthy live stream, but I'm hoping that I've covered everything that you need to know regarding cruises, how to book excursions using the Marella Cruise Control, the entry-exit system, passports, what series are coming up, the views on the channel. I've basically covered everything in the last 28 minutes. So hit that subscribe button at CarlSmith25. Have a good afternoon. Hopefully the weather will improve as we enter March tomorrow. Hope you look forward to the series on Wednesday at the Turnip Valley, and I will see all you guys and gals in the next video. Thank you for watching and good afternoon.